What's going on, guys? Welcome back to my channel and welcome if you're new. So in today's video, we're going to talk about the top 3 CRISPR gene editing stocks that are held in Ark Invest Ark Genomic Revolution ETF. So if you're unfamiliar with Ark Invest or just discovered them, they have a lot of good ETFs. So this is just one of them that is focused on the genomic space. Let's do a quick overview of this ETF. So from their website, it says companies with Ark Genomics are focused on and expected to substantially benefit from extending and enhancing the quality of human and other life by incorporating technological and scientific developments and advancements in genomics into their business. The companies held in Ark Genomics may develop, produce, or enable CRISPR, targeted therapeutics, bioinformatics, molecular diagnostics, stem cells, and agricultural biology. So in this video, we're specifically going to focus on that first bullet point, CRISPR gene editing, because it is a really exciting area and I think it has huge upside potential, and we'll talk about that more later in this video. Guys, make sure you stick around till the end. There's a lot of good information in this video, and this market size is in the trillions, up to $100 trillion. Let's take a quick look at their stock chart. Their 1-year return has been absolutely phenomenal, right? And this ETF did peak around mid-January, and then since then it's been down about 35%. But if you guys look here, from around mid-May to now, this ETF has done a really strong rebound. And just today, at the time this video was made, it's up about 3%. So keep in mind, guys, this ETF does hold about 60 companies. So in this video, we're going to focus on 3 of those 60 companies held in this ETF. So in case you just discovered this exciting new world of gene editing, we're going to do a quick overview. So what is gene editing? Basically, technologies that give scientists the ability to change an organism's DNA. So basically what this means is genetic material can be added, removed, modified at a specific location in the genome. So gene editing has been around for a couple of decades. It's nothing new. However, a new approach called CRISPR-Cas9, developed in 2012, has been a total breakthrough in the scientific community, and it's generated a lot of excitement. So basically, it's simpler, it's faster, it's easier, it's more efficient, and it's a lot more accurate versus more traditional approach. So let's talk about CRISPR-Cas9 gene editing more specifically. So basically, CRISPR comes from a natural gene editing system found in bacteria. What these bacteria do is they capture little snippets of DNA from invading viruses, and they create DNA segments called CRISPR arrays. What this does is it basically lets the bacteria remember the virus in case it attacks again. And if it does, what it does is it produces these RNA segments based on those CRISPR arrays to directly target the virus's DNA. The bacteria also uses something called a Cas9 enzyme to cut the viruses, basically like a pair of molecular scissors, targeting right at the virus's DNA, and that defeats the virus. So scientists and researchers said, hey, we can use this in the lab to target specific locations in the genome to address a variety of human diseases for prevention and treatment. When it comes to the world of CRISPR gene editing, there's basically 3 companies that are leading the way: CRISPR Therapeutics, Intellia Therapeutics, and Editas Medicine. So not only does Ark Invest Ark Genomics ETF hold a big position in these companies, but also, while I was doing a lot of research, a lot of other websites and articles also refer to these companies as leaders in the CRISPR gene editing space. Something to keep in mind, guys, is all 3 of these companies are fairly small and fairly new. They've only been around for about 7 or 8 years. So Editas Medicine has a market cap of $2.5 billion, Intellia $5.7 billion, and CRISPR Therapeutics $9.3 billion. So if you look here, compared to some of the giants in the healthcare industry, Johnson & Johnson's market cap is $440 billion, Pfizer's $227 billion, and Abbott Labs is $196 million. So these companies, in terms of market size, are literally 20, 50, 100, or 200 times smaller in size than these healthcare giants. So the first one on our list is CRISPR Therapeutics, and it is the largest and most well-established gene editing company in the world. It was founded in 2013, actually by one of the co-inventors of the CRISPR-Cas9 system, Emmanuel Charpentier, back in 2012. So let's look at their stock chart a little bit. In the past 1 year, their return has been 107%, so pretty impressive. And then Ark Invest Genomic ETF has about 2.5% of their ETF in this company, roughly about 215 million worth of shares. So one of their main therapies in the pipeline is CTX001, which is in clinical trials. And this one's targeted towards the prevention and treatment of sickle cell disease. And then other than that, they also have a few other therapies in the pipeline for immuno-oncology cell therapy, which is in clinical trials, and that is in the whole cancer prevention and treatment area. And then lastly, they've also got something in the pipeline for diabetes treatment. I really like this company. I think they're working on some pretty exciting stuff, and they've got a lot of potential in the future. And then while I was doing my research, I found a lot of websites and articles refer to them as the leader in this space. So number 2 on our list is Intellia Therapeutics, and this company is known as the Specialized Gene Editor. This company was founded in 2014, and it was actually founded by the other co-inventor of the CRISPR-Cas9 system, Jennifer Doudna, back in 2012. So let's look at their chart a little bit. Their 1-year return has been 336%. Totally mind-blowing. And then Ark Invest has about 1.5% of their ETF in this company, roughly about 132 million worth of shares. So this company's main therapy in the pipeline is NTLA-2001, which is still in clinical trials. And some of the genetic disorders they're targeting is angioedema, which is rapid swelling beneath the skin, leukemia, which you're probably familiar with, it's cancer of blood-forming tissues, and transthyretin amyloidosis, which is buildup of abnormal deposits of a protein in a body's organ and tissues. So last one on our list is Editas Medicine. This company was founded in 2013, and they basically have a portfolio of gene editing therapies, Edit 101, 102, RP4, and as a whole, they're aiming to eradicate genetic blindness. So let's look at their stock chart a little bit. So their 1-year return has been about 47%, not bad at all. And Ark Invest has about 0.5% of their genomics ETF in this company, roughly about 50 million worth of shares. So there you have it, guys. Top 3 CRISPR gene editing stocks that are in Ark Invest Ark Genomic Revolution ETF. In general, there's currently a lot of research going around with this CRISPR-Cas9 approach around single gene disorders such as cystic fibrosis, hemophilia, and sickle cell disease. And then this holds a lot of promise for the treatment and prevention of the more complex diseases as well, such as cancer, heart disease, mental illness, and HIV. So this CRISPR-Cas9 gene editing approach is still fairly new. It's been around less than a decade, so it's not perfect. There are challenges that scientists are facing, such as when cutting DNA sequences, they need to know what's in it, what's around it, what are all the side effects, and if gene editing is done wrong, it could have a lot of bad consequences that we don't know about. So aside from challenges in the lab, there's also some ethical issues. So when it comes to CRISPR-Cas9 gene editing, there's 2 types of gene editing. One is for somatic cells, which only affects certain tissues of an individual's body. And the second one is germline cells, so the egg, sperm, embryo. Gene editing in germline cells or the embryo basically can cause changes that will be passed down to generations. So this brings up a lot of ethical issues. Are we going to start modifying genetics at the gene level where parents can, modify their children's height, eye color, intelligence? So a lot of ethical issues still. So although the science is not perfect yet, and like we said, there are ethical issues, the market size for this space is absolutely enormous. I remember seeing a piece in a YouTube channel I really like called Solving the Money Problem, where Steven talks about the market for monogene diseases is about 2 trillion, and the market for polygenetic diseases is about 98 trillion. So a market size of potentially 100 trillion. And I remember seeing there's over 6,000 genetic disorders we've identified so far. So you can imagine how big the opportunity is here. That's it for today. Comment below if you have any questions or anything you want to discuss, or if you have any gene editing stocks that you really like, throw them in the comments below. I'd love to hear about it. Please remember to like and subscribe. It really helps the channel. And don't forget, guys, if you plant your seeds early, you can really build your wealth over time. See you next time.